Sometimes the smallest act of faith is the one heaven treasures most, and today's readings reveal that in a powerful way. As we listen, you'll see Daniel's quiet courage, the widow's hidden sacrifice, and the call from Jesus himself to remain awake. Threads that might seem separate at first, but together uncover a single life-changing message. Let the readings speak first, and then, after we hear them, we'll connect the story that God is telling through all of them.
The first reading is from Daniel chapter 1 verses 1 to 6, 8-20. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came and laid siege to Jerusalem. The Lord handed over to him Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and some of the vessels of the temple of God. He carried them off to the land of Shinar, and placed the vessels in the temple treasury of his God. The king told Ashpenaz, his chief chamberlain, to bring in some of the children of Israel of royal blood and of the nobility, young men without any defect, handsome, intelligent and wise, quick to learn, and prudent in judgment, such as could take their place in the king's palace. They were to be taught the language and literature of the Chaldeans. After 3 years' training, they were to enter the king's service. The king allotted them a daily portion of food and wine from the royal table. Among these were men of Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. But Daniel was resolved not to defile himself with the king's food or wine, so he begged the chief chamberlain to spare him this defilement. Though God had given Daniel the favor and sympathy of the chief chamberlain, he nevertheless said to Daniel, "I am afraid of my lord the king. It is he who allotted your food and drink. If he sees that you look wretched by comparison with the other young men of your age, you will endanger my life with the king." Then Daniel said to the steward whom the chief chamberlain had put in charge of Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, "Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then see how we look in comparison with the other young men who eat from the royal table, and treat your servants according to what you see." He acceded to this request and tested them for 10 days. After 10 days, they looked healthier and better fed than any of the young men who ate from the royal table. So the steward continued to take away the food and wine they were to receive, and gave them vegetables. To these 4 young men God gave knowledge and proficiency in all literature and science, and to Daniel the understanding of all visions and dreams. At the end of the time the king had specified for their preparation, the chief chamberlain brought them before Nebuchadnezzar. When the king had spoken with all of them, none was found equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, and so they entered the king's service. In any question of wisdom or prudence which the king put to them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in his kingdom.
Today's responsorial psalm is from Daniel 3:52-56. Glory and praise forever. Blessed are you, O Lord, the God of our fathers, praiseworthy and exalted above all forever. And blessed is your holy and glorious name, praiseworthy and exalted above all for all ages. Glory and praise forever. Blessed are you in the temple of your holy glory, praiseworthy and glorious above all forever. Glory and praise forever. Blessed are you on the throne of your kingdom, praiseworthy and exalted above all forever. Glory and praise forever. Blessed are you who look into the depths from your throne upon the cherubim, praiseworthy and exalted above all forever. Glory and praise forever. Blessed are you in the firmament of heaven, praiseworthy and glorious forever. Glory and praise forever. Alleluia, alleluia. Stay awake, for you do not know when the Son of Man will come. Alleluia, alleluia.
The gospel today is from Luke 21:1-4. May the Lord be on our minds, on our lips, and in our hearts.
When Jesus looked up, he saw some wealthy people putting their offerings into the treasury, and he noticed a poor widow putting in 2 small coins. He said, "I tell you truly, this poor widow put in more than all the rest, for those others have all made offerings from their surplus wealth, but she, from her poverty, has offered her whole livelihood."
Now let's connect these scriptures. When you place today's reading side by side, a single beautiful message rises to the surface. God sees what the world overlooks, and he rewards the heart that chooses faithfulness in secret. Daniel and his friends chose quiet obedience when no one else was watching, turning down the royal food, trusting God with their health, and offering him their hidden fidelity. And what happened? God strengthened them, enlightened them, and ultimately raised them up before kings. The widow in the gospel does the very same thing. No one in the courtyard notices her. No one praises her 2 coins. No one sees her sacrifice. But Jesus does. He calls attention not to the size of her gift, but to the size of her heart. She gave from her poverty, from her vulnerability, from the place that cost her something. And the Alleluia ties it all together. Stay awake. Stay spiritually alert. Stay faithful in the small things. Stay attentive to the movements of God. Because the moments that seem small to us are often the ones heaven treasures the most. This is the invitation of today. To trust that God sees the unnoticed gift, the quiet obedience, the unseen sacrifice, the prayer whispered in secret, the act of love that no one else applauds. Where the world sees little, God sees eternity. And this truth shines even brighter today as we honor St. Andrew Dũng-Lạc and his companions, who offered their lives in hidden fidelity to Christ. Their martyrdom was not loud in the world's eyes, but heaven saw it and treasured it. Their courage reminds us that the smallest act of faith and even the greatest sacrifice does not go unseen by God. Their witness strengthens us to give our whole hearts to Him, just as the widow did, just as Daniel did, one faithful offering at a time.
Let's close in prayer. Lord, thank you for seeing the offerings that others overlook. Give me the heart of Daniel, the trust of the widow, and the courage to be faithful in the small things. Help me stay awake to your presence and offer you my life with love. Amen. Thank you for joining today's reflection. If this message touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below with your prayer intentions. We'd love to pray with you.